I'm very excited to be here with you guys today, and thank you for coming and joining us for coffee. I will give you guys a little introduction on who I am, because I think it's important to know who's talking to you. So my name is Noorah Kareem. Some people know me as a coach, and some people know me as an artist. My background was in therapy, art therapy in particular, before I moved full-time into coaching. I worked a lot with individuals, and then I kind of moved through the last recent years more working with companies and teams, and I founded a conversation where we do coaching and training mostly for luxury retail and hospitality and a lot of creative sectors as well, because I come from a creative background. I have a podcast called Ahyanan fi Hayat, which I think is one of the best things that I've done, even though I haven't published one in the last year, but hopefully one day. Yeah. So when I was invited to speak to you guys today about the word vibrant, the first thing I did was Google and search, okay, what does it mean? What is the definition of it in the dictionary? Some of the keywords that popped up to me were, okay, someone's spirited, lively, full of life, high-spirited. So, life, spirit, okay? And then I was like, okay, what's the opposite of it? Because if you want to understand something, the easiest way to understand it is to understand what's the opposite of it. So, what's the opposite of it? Lifeless, spiritless, listless, and dull. Kind of scary, right? Yeah. So if I were to summarize the word vibrant, I was like, okay, it's someone that lives a life where they are full, they're self-actualizing. They are living their full potential, they know who they are, they're working towards something, they're excited about it, they're building something good, they're excited about the future, they feel like, oh, okay, I'm using my strengths. Okay. So I'm like, this realization led me to two big questions. The first question was, like, is being vibrant, being spirited and lively, is it a goal or is it an outcome? It's almost like the same question like happiness. Is happiness a goal or an outcome? Which maybe there's a little bit of a debate there, but how many of you guys think happiness is a goal? And how many of you guys think happiness is an outcome? Interesting, yeah. For me, a vibrant is almost the same thing. Like if we take the biggest lens in life, which is basically إيش هدفنا في الحياة, ليش إحنا مخلوقين, you would notice in the Quran, happiness is never mentioned except one time, فرحون في الجنة, which basically means that no, happiness isn't a goal of life, but it is an outcome, a result of how you structure your life. You can feel content, you can feel في جنة الدنيا. So vibrant for me is the same thing. You can't, it's not a goal in itself, but if you structure your life in a certain way, you will be full of life and you'll be full of energy and you'll be spirited. So that led me to the next big question, which is, okay, so how do you need to structure your life in order to be vibrant? Today I want to share with you guys 5 of those rules that I came up with. So rule number 1, you have to know your strengths. Because it's easy to work out of the, this idea of, oh, I'm a good person if I work on my weaknesses, which is sometimes true, you do need to work on it. But I feel like Ahyanan يكون على حساب our strengths, the things that we're really good at. So, I think you guys all got a list of questions. So you will notice the second question is your list of strengths. Okay? So I'll give you guys a couple minutes. Whether you guys want to write them down on paper, if you guys have a phone and you guys want to write it on the phone, but if you guys can write it down on the paper, it's a little bit stronger. Psychologically, في شوية أنا كده. Phone, it's a little bit more wishy-washy in psychology. So I'll give you guys 2 to 3 minutes to write down the list of your strengths. They could be characteristics, personality traits, skills. People tell you, oh, you're really good at this. I wish I was as good as blah, blah, blah. Okay? Whatever it is. paper is for you guys. So not going to show anyone. But I might, go around the. One more minute. I like how everyone's so concentrated and writing. Makes me happy. Okay, so we'll continue, because you guys can continue to write down. Okay? So, mini katastrofa. Who found it a little bit difficult or challenging? Yeah? Yeah, in the beginning. Okay. Yeah. So what number did you guys roughly get to? 6, 7, 10, 4, 6, 5, 7, 10, nice.
8.
8, okay. 7, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna push you guys to do 10. Okay? So I'll give you another 2 minutes. 10. And most likely you'll find even the ones that you guys wrote down, like I'm a really good listener. Haykun under it, there are more strengths. People feel comfortable with me. People could tell me stuff. I care. A strength to تطلع منها other strengths كمان. Okay? So for those of you guys who got to 10, great job. 2 more. Okay? 11 and 12. Okay, so هذه آخر اثنين. Were they easier or harder?
Harder.
Easier. Anyone had a different experience? Harder?
Harder.
Still at 9. Okay. 3 more.
I can go on till 20.
Huh?
I can go on till 20.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just invite you guys to notice how you guys felt doing this exercise. Because a lot of times we tend to play a little bit small. And I remember the first time that I did this exercise was actually like 15 years ago with my mentor. And when I was writing out, أتوقع إنه وصلت ل5 ولا 6, like I was 5, 6, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then my mentor told me, Noorah, do you think, if you actually say this is my strength and this is what I'm good at, and هذه نوع من أنواع الشكر والحمد, And that was like mara different for me. I mean, I always thought, oh, look at me, I'm so great. بس يعني it could be a form of حمد وشكر. أنا عندي هذا الشيء، عندي هذا الصفة، عندي هذه نقطة قوة. I'm good at this, I can do this. It can be a form of حمد وشكر. Very different. So, that's rule number one. In order for you to be vibrant, full of life, you need to know your strengths and you need to be willing to step into it. Yeah? So you can work on those things. The second rule. The truth about follow your passion. I'm sure you guys heard that tip or, like advice, follow your passion. So the thing about passion, maybe you guys have heard of this book or read it, So Good They Can't Ignore You. It actually invites you to think about it in a new way or a different way. So it suggests that passion doesn't just happen. You don't just go and look for passion and then you find it and you're like, whoa, this is it. It's usually the things that you're passionate about. If you notice, they're usually the things that you're really good at. If you're good at something, it becomes a passion. So it's actually instead of going and looking for passion, you need to build something, and then once you start being good at it, it turns into a passion. Yeah? So, work on something, it will be a passion. So rule number 3, decide on your success model. And this has been something that recently I've been thinking about a lot. Like, what are my priorities and where do I want to put my time? And, pick and choose, because I don't have energy and time for everything, especially after being a mom. And you have to pick and choose, you can't do everything. So basically there are 2 different models that you can choose from. Either I'm really good at one thing, and you can think of Michael Phillips, what's it called? Michael Jordan. Like, they picked something, they invested a lot of time and energy on it, and they became the best of the best in it. And that's one model. The other model is, I don't want one thing, I want a couple things. But both of them, there's something that you're going to give in return. Okay? Be something you have to give up. The first one, if you're going to pick like one thing, and you're really good at it, and think of the top CEOs, the people that have the biggest positions career-wise, they're going to give up other things in return. Whether it's family, getting married, but there's something, health, there's something that they have to give up, because it's not enough for you to be smart, to be the best of the best. You have to work not 40 hours a day, you have to work 80 hours a week, yeah? So that's something you have to give up, but it is a choice. The second choice is, okay, I want 3, 4 things, 5 things, but I can't put 140 in each. So maybe I'll put 80 here, 80 here, 80 here. And this is for me enough. This is my model for what I want to do with life. For me, I picked this. Okay, I have a business, it's never gonna be Amazon. But that's okay, it's a choice I make. I have my business, my coaching, my art, my family, and that kind of works for me. And funny thing is, if you guys know Jordan Peterson, he talks about this a lot. I think it's very inspiring. And even if we saw male and female, not every male picks this, but it's more appealing, I guess, for them. Hierarchy more matters to them, or matters to society. Female, they're usually more attracted to men that are in the same position or higher than them, which is not true at all. Which is keeping that because Mama had a Miss as being, the top CEO. But yeah, and more women hustle them back at 30 when they start having families. This becomes more attractive to them because they want the balance in life. I don't want just one thing. I want a few things that I need to focus on. So it's a choice. And it reminds me of one of the quotes that I really like about from Oprah Winfrey. You can have it all, just not all at the same time. So another exercise that you have, we don't have time to do it right now, but I'll invite you guys when you do go home, if this is important to you, that you can do it. So basically, shift the strengths, the list of strengths that you guys created. What things from there that are really important to you? Is it one thing that you really want to go for? Or is it a couple things? And if it's like, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, at least for now where you are in life. So you at least have a vision or a map of what does success look like to you. Make sense? Rule number 4, vibrant and the power of play. So when I was thinking about vibrant, I think it would be missing if we don't talk about like play and this openness to what if or what could be. Right? Especially like if you come from a creative background or an artistic background. Yani when I work on an art project, it's easy for me to be like, oh, an outcome has to look like this, has to be amazing, people need to come and whatever. This attachment to the outcome in whatever you do, which is a normal feeling because it's important. So we're like holding on to it. But the funny thing is, had attachment, يجي من مصدر fear. I need to control it. It needs to be a certain way. It needs to go a certain way, which doesn't really work with vibrant, lively, and spirited, and energetic because you have to be open to other things. So for those moments that happen, to remind myself and you guys that all we need to do is put in the effort, and the results are not in our hands. We have to go, and that's okay. Which gives you opportunity to play. So al-mas'uliyya, or your job, is to try things, to go for it, to build things, to work on something, and maybe that's enough. The other part is not for you to control, or you need to make it happen, which I think makes vibrant a lot easier. Rule number 5. What happens when you don't feel vibrant? عشان نكون واقعيين شوية. It would be amazing if I'm always energetic, I'm always full of life, I'm always happy. But it's not really always realistic. حيكون في moments of I don't really have energy today. So in those moments, how do we stay vibrant, or how do we stay with the spirit and lively? For me, when I think of these dips, this dip is normal. But أهم شيء تكون like in a healthy way. Like you want it to be more like this and not like this. Oh my God, I'm so excited, so happy. Oh my God, I'm so sad. Oh my God, I'm so happy. More like in control. And it reminds me of this book or this quote. Have any of you guys read it before? Search for Meaning? Yeah. If you haven't, it's a really, really, really good book. Highly recommend it. So one of the ideas or philosophies is those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. Meaning, إذا عندك هدف or a goal, it doesn't matter what happens to you in life. Because this guy Victor, it was actually captured. He went to prison for a really long time, and even in prison, like it's easy to not have a future and you can't see anything and you be depressed. But he had a why. So even like if you're just looking for vibrance or happiness without a why, it's not fun. There's one المواقف الصعبة اللي تجي في الحياة where you can't control, you basically lose happiness, you lose vibrance. But if you have a why, which is basically, it could be because I'm put here for a reason, because I'm building something, because God wants me to do this, because this is what, for me, this is what would make God happy with me. So it's important. So even when I'm feeling it, it's still important. But it keeps you vibrant and alive. There's a why behind it. And I also think this idea of depression or not being dull, being lifeless, listless, it's basically an idea of there's nothing that you're looking forward to, there's nothing you're building. And basically depression is you can't see a future. That's when depression happens. Future ما في خلاص اختفى. So I am depressed in this moment. And I think it's an unspoken ni'mah also as Muslims. We always have a future. There's always al-akhirah, al-jannah. Like there's always a future. There's always something that you're building for it. It's not just this door closed. Halas, no fayda. No, there's always something else. And I think this is a ni'mah that maybe you don't appreciate as much. So it comes to kind of wrap up the conversation. So it's 5 rules, and so know your strengths, the truth about follow your passion, pick your success model, play and being open to what is and what could happen, and not controlling the outcome so much. And then when you don't feel vibrant, you still have a why, you're working towards something bigger, which will keep vibrance there. You know, it will be easy to access. So the last question that I will leave you guys with, and this is a question that you can, benefit from nafsakum. What do I need to believe in order to find more vibrance or more life in my everyday life? Right? What do I need to believe in so I can find more vibrance? Yeah. And that leads us to the end of today's conversation, and we can open up to Q&A. Thank you.